Hi everyone, I made a bit of a mistake. I didn't realise the next chapter was for today, so I thought I'd really quickly film it for you, as I have had a few people messaging me asking me where the next chapter is. So I am going to read the next chapter now. It is home and it's from Lottie's point of view, so the Victorian child's point of view. There is nothing for it. I have to leave home. I love my home very much, although it is only a tumble-down cottage, stifling hot in the summer and bitter cold in the winter. The winters have always been the worst. 2 little brothers and 1 infant sister died during the winter months. And father passed away last February when the snow was thick on the ground. I did not cry when father died. Perhaps it is wicked to admit this, but I felt relieved. He treated mother very bad, and though he earned a fair wage, he drank a great deal of it. So we were always poor even then. But mother kept our simple home shining bright. She made bright rag rugs to cover the cold stone flags on the floor, and each bed upstairs had a pretty patchwork quilt. I cut out pictures from the illustrated papers and pinned them to the walls. I even pinned pictures out in the privy. There was always a rabbit stew bubbling on the black leaded range when we came back from school. We'd dig potatoes or carrots or cabbage from the garden, and in the summer Rose and Jessie and I would pick a bunch of flowers to go in the pink jug Frank won at the fair. Mother always liked us to wash our hands and say grace at the table before eating. Father never washed his hands or said grace, but mother could not do anything about that. Sometimes father did not come home until very late. One night, last winter, he fell coming home in the dark, and lay where he was until the morning. They carried him home to us, and mother nursed him night and day, but the cold got to his chest. Mother used up her sock full of savings on father's funeral. She bought us all a set of black mourning clothes, even little Ada May. I thought that this was a waste of money, but mother is determined that we stay respectable. Our grandmother and grandfather did not want mother to marry father. They thought he was no good, far too fond of the demon drink, as they said. I privately agreed, but I did not like them saying this to mother. They came to father's funeral and said it all over again. They asked mother how she was going to manage now. Mother said she would take in washing and do fine sewing for ladies. Grandmother and grandfather sniffed. They took a shine to my sister Rose, who is pretty, and offered her a home with them. It will be 1 mouth less for you to feed, they said. Mother asked Rose if she wanted to live with grandmother and grandfather, and she cried and said no. So mother said we would all stick together. You'll all be sticking together in the workhouse, said my grandmother. Mother stuck her chin in the air and said we would manage just fine, but I heard her crying at night. I went to comfort her. We will manage fine, mother, you'll see, I said. But it has become very hard. Mother washes all day and sews half the night. She has become very pale and thin and coughs a good deal. I am very frightened that she will get really ill in the winter if she keeps working so hard. Frank and Rose and I tried to help out this spring and summer, running errands and selling nosegays and sweet lemonade at the market. We can only earn pennies. We need pounds to keep us out of the workhouse. So it is up to me. I am the oldest. I must go and earn money and send it to mother. There is only one job a girl my age can go for. I must be a servant. That's the end of the home chapter. Now I'm going to read Lottie's work chapter. I've got work. I earn £11 a year, £1 for every year of my age. I did not tell anyone my real age. I swore I was 13, going on 14. I do not know whether anyone believed me. I put my hair up and lowered the hem of my skirt as far as it would go. At least I looked respectable in my morning clothes. I went to a domestic service agency in town. They said they had just the job for me, but when I went to the house and saw the cross, sulky face of the mistress, I wasn't so sure. I did not find out what the master did for a living, but it was easy to tell he was not a gentleman. They wanted a maid of all work, and I could see at once I'd be toiling all day long and well into the night, and scolded all the time no matter what pains I took. I am willing to be a servant, but I am not going to be a slave. I went back to the agency and said the first position wasn't suitable. They seemed astonished at my effrontery, but sent me after another position. I thought at first this was more likely. It was in a grand house with 6 servants. I was to be the nursery maid, helping the upper nurse care for a little boy. I do not care for little boys. My brother Frank has always been a great child to me. I believe he takes after his father. I certainly did not care for this little boy, who stuck out his tongue in a very rude manner and then kicked me hard upon the shin. I did not care for the upper nurse either, who had a face like a boot and long nipping fingers like button hooks. But I would have taken the position even so, if it weren't for the master of the house. He was a widower, and I was all prepared to feel sorry for him, if he was still mourning for his late wife. Ha! This gentleman patted me at the interview and said I was a fine-looking girl, fresh from the country. His eyes slid sideways, and I detested the way he was looking at me. He might be a gentleman, but he didn't act like one. I knew he would be quick to take liberties if I complained. I would be sent packing with no reference. I am young, but I am no fool. I went back to the agency yet again and said the second position wasn't suitable either. And I said why too. This time, they were appalled at my impertinence. How dare I criticise my betters? But they gave me one last chance. I knew I had to take it this time. I do hope it's third time lucky. I am employed by a mistress who wants a young nurse with 3 children. Victor, who is 6, Louisa, who is 4, and baby Freddie, who is still in petticoats. I did not meet the master, but I shall have to hope for the best. There are 2 other servants in the household, a cook and a housemaid. I hope they will be friendly. I am not sure about this mistress. She does not look cross, but she seems very firm. She told me my duties in great detail. I must light the fires when I get up and dust the day nursery. I must dress Louisa and help Victor with his boots and buttons. I must attend to the baby, and then we have breakfast. Victor and Louisa are then to be sent down to their mother while I wash and dress baby Freddie and give him his bottle and put him back in his cot. I must then clean and tidy the night nursery and then dress the children in outdoor clothes and take them for a walk. They will have a rest on our return while I brush their clothes and clean their boots, and then I must get them ready for their dinner. We are to take another walk in the afternoon when possible, and then, after a light tea, I must put baby Freddie to bed while Victor and Louisa go downstairs. Then I must put them to bed and tidy the nurseries and eat my supper and then go to bed myself. Do you feel you can manage all of this? She said. You look very little. But I am strong, madam. I will manage, I said determinedly. Very good. You can start on Monday. I will give you the print for your uniform and a bolt of cotton for your apron and caps. I hope you are satisfactory at sewing, Charlotte. I blinked at her. Charlotte, madam, I said foolishly. That is your name, is it not? She said. No, madam, I am called Lottie, madam. It was the name of mother's doll when she was small. No one's ever called me Charlotte. Well, I do not think that Lottie is a suitable name for a servant. You will be called Charlotte whilst you are working for me. So the next chapter is about food, and I'm going to film that, and that's for you to watch tomorrow. Good luck with your English work. See you tomorrow.